everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going right back into looking at the private servers. Primarily, I've been looking at Ascension. I've been looking at Turtle WoW, and I did a video, a review of that, as well as my journey to level 30. And I wanted to go ahead and do the same thing over on Vanilla Plus. In late January and early February, about 6 weeks or so after I stopped playing retail and Classic WoW, I started looking into a lot of the different private servers. I saw a lot of attention on Ascension. I saw things on private servers like Turtle WoW, Vanilla Plus. The latter both offered something new and exciting, and both servers are very different from one another. I've already released a video explaining the differences between the two servers, so if that's something you would like to check out, I'll go ahead and pop that up top there. And yeah, prior to this, I never really paid much attention to or followed any of the WoW private servers. I knew nothing about the servers, the news, the information. I didn't know or understand how serious or why it always had to be so fresh, and why just everyone always wants the fresh. This was and is still a very new concept to me, and this is a very interesting and very unique culture that I've seemed to stumble across. So yeah, I started playing Ascension WoW because it's totally effing crazy and it's a lot of fun. Definitely check out, especially the new League Season 3. It's a lot of fun. From there, though, I went to Turtle WoW and Vanilla Plus, and at this time, a very successful YouTuber was playing on Vanilla Plus and putting out frequent video content on the server, which drastically increased the population and drew a lot of attention to actually both of these servers. A lot of people were leveling. It was new. It was fresh. I had a Mage, I had a Paladin. I bounced between the two while leveling with some friends, and you could tell that most of the community there was either new or returning for the server hype, so there wasn't really any way to get a good feeling of the community. Because of this, I got more attached to Turtle WoW. That, and also the fact that Turtle WoW server just seemed to run a lot better for me at the time. So I leveled over on Turtle WoW, put out a little video, and then I jumped back over to Vanilla Plus, and finally, we're ready to release the newest character, Brindor. That's right, Brindor, the Orc Hunter. First off, do note that this is a PvP server. I played on PvP servers primarily in the early days of WoW, and I don't mind them, I don't like them, I don't hate them. They're just there, alright? Blizzard's been trying to balance PvP since it came out, and they're able to do that to an extent in BGs and arenas, but open world PvP in WoW is just annoying, and to me often is a trash mechanic. Asmongold said perfectly that world PvP basically is someone picking a fight that they know they can already win. They either out-level or out-gear the person has used up all their cooldowns, they're in the middle of fighting a mob, they're at low health, or they're currently in combat and they don't even see you coming. And while PvP is fun, yes, but it's honestly a pretty generic trash system that was put in as what feels like an afterthought. While combat is auto-attack, tab target system based on clicking your cooldowns. And as fun as that can be, there are honestly a lot more in-depth, skill-based modern combat games if that's really what you're obsessed with. So yes, I like WoW PvP. I understand that there's counterattack mechanics to it, but there's just better options out there, okay? Okay, so on to the next part. First and foremost, I will always say how well done the talent changes on Vanilla Plus are. The classes feel good, the changes feel good, the faster experience rate mixed with the new talents just flow together very well. The leveling experience is fun, and you can really push to hit your goals and not feel like you're dragging at all. I'm actually a pretty good fan of the 1x experience rate, so it's not something that really bothers me, but the rates on Vanilla Plus, I admit, do feel really good. Currently, it is a ×2 experience on mob kills, 3x experience for quests, 10x the experience for elite and dungeon quests, and you get a 5x experience bonus for rested experience. If this is a server you have been thinking about, I highly suggest that you join the Discord and check out the channel log channel there. The amount of work and fixes that they have done to make the class changes and balances rework is remarkable, and you can go through and see all the channel logs as well as things that will be upcoming. And there are also in-game commands to auto queue for all the BGs, which is pretty nice if you want to queue up while you're out and doing things. And that's probably a system that is very much needed because of the low population. I am not sure how bad the BG scene would be if it wasn't for the auto queue ability. The world chat is mostly people telling you to queue up for level 60 BGs over and over again. If it wasn't for the auto queue system, I'm not sure how painful this would really be or how active the BG scene would be. And trying to find dungeons is really hit or miss when you're trying to level. I realized it's best to just quest and keep an eye out in world chat, and when you see someone say that they're looking for a group and it's somewhere you need to go, just try to jump in. I even joined 3 different guilds that were supposed to be leveling guilds, hoping that this would just kind of speed up the process of trying to find dungeons, but sadly it did not change much at all, and I was still running into the same issue where it's really difficult to find groups, especially at the lower levels. And all of this is sadly because the population of the server has fallen drastically over the past month. And while leveling, I didn't see many people like I did when I was leveling over on Turtle WoW. Maybe it was because I was on Horde, this time on Vanilla Plus, but the Barons were just that, they were barren. There were maybe 3 people out there. A lot of times when I did a search, I was the only person out there questing, and I expected this to happen when I saw that the population had dropped drastically from that 1200 population that they were hitting at peak times during January, February, and March. So I really just focused on the leveling experience and the class changes made while leveling. Also while leveling, I would get a lot of random invites from people telling me that they were getting ready to run like Wailing Caverns or Shadowfang Keep, only to join the group and realize that I was the only person in the group. This happened probably 15 different times. Out of all those times that it happened, 2 times we actually went to the dungeon, so I quit accepting these group invites that were just random, and I just stopped replying to these whispers. The leveling experience as well, even with the new combat and stuff, was just nothing new, sadly. I wanted it to be something really fun, but it was just kind of lonely and boring. My time on Turtle WoW, and I keep saying this because these are the 2 that I'm comparing, and I hate the fact that this video is much more negative. I really didn't want to do a negative video, but my time over on Turtle WoW was just a lot more engaging. I met a lot of people over there. I had a lot of fun. I ran around, did stupid, degenerate stuff like you do in MMOs. Vanilla Plus, not so much. But beyond that, the one thing that really turned me off of the server was the abuse in world chat. And I set the trash channels like world chat and trade chat to a separate window, and those windows are only visible when I click over into the tab because I just don't really pay attention to them. But over here, it was one step higher. World chat being the main channel for everything Vanilla Plus has makes it extremely important, especially if you're trying to fill up groups. And the trolling and the stupid comments on politics and religion are always going to be there, and they don't bother me. But this was a whole new level of I don't even know what it was. There were people spamming hate speech about things involving the war in the Ukraine, as well as going into graphic detail about how they would personally torture and abuse children or families from certain countries. And this was constant in the chat, and it was done by 3 different level 60 players. At first I put them on ignore due to the extreme extent of the things they were saying, and after a few days I unblocked them and realized that one of them was still active in chat, and he was still going on, still saying the same things. And this I know for a fact went on for at least 6 days. Reports were filed about the situation, they were reported to the Discord, and it still took about 6 days to get this taken care of, and that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth and really ruined my experience over on the servers. So yeah, I don't know what to really say. I wanted to love the changes, and I wanted to just ignore the fact that the servers only progressed to Molten Core and Oni after 2 years, and I just wanted to enjoy this new class structure, but just mixed with several different things, and the really uncomfortable community, and the feeling that no one really cared, and no one was moderating it, just didn't give me a great impression. And maybe I just picked a bad time to go back. Maybe I picked the wrong week to go back, but with this being my first dive into the server, my first real deep dive, I just left with not a great impression at all, and I had really wanted to start working on my Mage and my Paladin and getting them leveled up a little bit. I was extremely excited once I started playing this warrior this hunter, because I love the changes, the class changes. I like how the class plays. I like the new talents and the new possibilities on builds. But just because of my time over there, I'm just kind of not excited about it anymore. So, and currently for me, and this is just my opinion, I've had a lot more fun over on Turtle WoW, and I enjoy the community much more. But for me, yeah, this just was not a great experience at all. It wasn't bad. It wasn't. It just wasn't anything really fun. So, on that note, I wish you all a lovely day, and I will see you guys again in the next video.